Welcome to Music at Noon. Great to see you. Today we have the most wonderful flute choir of the year. We haven't seen them for a year. We've missed you guys. Sorry that didn't work out. We're going to see them twice next year. Why not? Come back in the spring. They'll be here again. Okay, so Camellia City Flute Choir. They've been around for a while. We might even be celebrating the 25th anniversary of Camellia City Flute Choir today. We're not sure if it's 24 or 25. We're going to call it 25. They started playing for you all here at Music at Noon in 2011. January 12th of 2011. And the first time I heard them is a memory I will never forget. They produced a sound I had never heard before. Why? Because they have something in their orchestra that orchestras don't have. Contra and bass flutes. They're going to talk to you about them and explain them a little bit and show them to you so you can see that they go all the way from the piccolo down to flutes that are taller than I am. Well, that wouldn't be hard to do, but okay. We're starting off with the Overture miniature from Nutcracker Suite, and under the direction of Marty Melicharek, please give Camellia City Flute Choir and our director a fine, warm welcome.
Our next piece is a special arrangement of an organ concert piece done by none other than our conductor. This is the Offertory on Christmas Hymn.
Now for the favorite part of my program, is I get the chance to introduce some of the instruments that you might not be familiar with. Most of you know about piccolos and C flutes, but in a flute choir we've acquired some instruments which are unusual, seen in later literature by more contemporary composers, but some of our instruments are unique to our flute choir. So the first instrument I'd like to introduce are these big things sitting on the side here. That's called our large plumbing. And these are the big one is the subcontra, and the slightly smaller baby version of it is our contrabass flutes. And these are 2 octaves, or a little more than 2 octaves below the C flute. So we're going to demonstrate if you'll go 1 octave down for me, please. Thank you. Yeah, Victor likes to show off those last 4 notes. Yeah, he can actually play 4 notes lower than the contrabass flute. The next member of our family are our bass flutes, and if you'd be so kind as to lift them up. And you notice they have curved head joints, so they couldn't play them on the side if they didn't have them that way. And they're simply an octave below our C flutes. So if we can show them what they sound like. Here we go. Thank you. Then there's something between the C flute and the bass flute, and that's our alto flute. And it's just slightly lower than our C flute. And it has a very nice, rich, mellow quality to it. And let's give you a sample. And you can see now some of these are curved heads and some of them are straight. Depends on how long your arms are. So if we can do the same and give them a sample of what you sound like. Here we go. There we go. Very nice. And these flutes are now commonly seen in jazz venues. They have a nice, beautiful, rich tone, and adds a great deal to that genre. Now, finally, we're getting back to the instruments that you're more familiar with, and that's our C flutes. And we're going to have you bring those up and show them. And we're going to play 2 octaves starting from above the staff to the middle C below the staff. Here we go. That last note was the lowest note on the C flute, although play your B natural. They've got 1 more note they can play. Okay, here we go. Yeah. I always wonder, we don't see that in our literature very often, but the length of the flute is longer and it gives it a more mellow sound. And finally, we have the baby flute of our ensemble, which is the piccolo, and I'm sure all of you have heard the piccolo. You would recognize the piccolo playing from Stars and Stripes by John Philip Sousa. And let's have Anne give a demonstration going in the lower octaves of the piccolo first. And that is the lowest note on the piccolo. And now the upper range. Yeah. So now that we have all these wonderful low flutes, our composers have started writing material for us for the low flute ensemble. So our next 2 pieces are going to, our next piece is going to just do a low flute ensemble, and then the second piece, which we're going to play, which is the Navy hymn. And why are we playing the Navy hymn? Because tomorrow's Pearl Harbor Day, and we honor those people who lost their lives in the attack on Pearl Harbor. So, but our next piece is called Jolly on a Housetop, and this features our low flute ensemble.
next piece, you may recognize that this is a special arrangement for flute choir. This is usually called "Was the Night Before Christmas," but the official title is "A Visit from St. Nicholas."
What was the matter? Way to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters, and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below, when what to my wandering eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer, with a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More either than eagles, his coursers they flew, and they called them by name and shouted as they came. Now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donder and Blitzen. To the top of the park, to the top of the wall, now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys, and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke, it encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him, in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod, up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he went out of sight, "Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night." The syncopated clock. And that is followed by an interesting arrangement of jingle bells. People often ask, how often do you need to tune? Well, we need to tune more often because our instruments are all metal, and the temperature can make a variation, and so we need to make sure that we are still in tune. Just thought I'd better explain that. People always ask. What? Marty says it's a concerto in A. we now have an unusual version of Deck the Halls. This is called Deck Out the Halls. And our final number is a most wonderful time of the year that's especially arranged by one of our members. This is from Martha. Martha should stand up. One of the interesting things about modern technology, Martha lives in the Bay Area, but she comes to rehearsal by phone.
Thank you very much. I'd like to thank you for all coming today. This is sort of the start of our Christmas season. Most of my members will be performing in other groups, orchestras, other bands, and smaller ensembles in the Sacramento area. So it's our one time to get together before everybody has to go off to their other obligations and perform for you. I would particularly like to thank the members of my choir who spend hours practicing and come every Thursday to rehearsals. It's I can't tell you how much I love the dedication that they show every year. And every year they get better, and I'm so grateful to have such a talented group. We have one last piece that we'd like to play for you. It's called The Flight of the Bumblebee. Thank you very much for spending the first part of the afternoon with us. You've been a great audience. Thank you for being here. Have a happy holiday.
Camellia Flute Choir, you buzz in and buzz out all far too fast. And we know you have your busy bees this time of year. So we thank you very much for taking the time to share your talent with us. You've made our day, you've made our season. We hope your music brings you much joy throughout the community, and we hope your listeners enjoy it half as much as we do. Thank you very much for coming over the years since 2011. We appreciate you very much. Happy 25th anniversary. Marty Melicharek. We couldn't do it without you. We wouldn't have a choir of this nature without you. It's one of the few in the United States that has instrumentation of this type. Thank you again. Have happy holidays. And we wish the same for you, and glad you could share this time with us here. Hope you can be with us next week when we have Chanteuse, a vocal choir, and they will perform music that will touch your heart with the tones and timbres and harmonies that they bring to this special space. Have a great week and see you then. Thanks.
everybody's face. Take the hats off, I think. Mark, you need to move over. Here she is. Okay. Hats off? Hats off. Because I need to be able to see, we need to be able to see everybody's face. And I can't do that from here. How are we doing? You have your hat on, Marty. Yeah, no, I'm going to take it off. Okay.
Whatever the age he wants.
I want you slightly in, the other half slightly in. You can do weddings. Okay. Can you see everybody? What we call that flower.